Semester, and Charlie continues to, well, troll us all. Plus, the DAT night is rising in Dallas, and we look around college football. College Crossfire is back. Let's do it. I guess we'll get into it, guys. Always enthusiastic, unbelievable, hard-nosed.
Roll up the sleeves for this one.
This Dallas team was very overrated from the start, like they always are every year.
The talent there, Kevin Mack, Eric Davis, and Cohen Roach are maybe three of the most talented guys on the team.
Oh, that's an ugly shirt.
Always a pleasure having you on, guys.
Time to freak out, Reese.
Welcome back. It's a new semester and a new episode, new season of College Crossfire. Reese Miller here with you. Very glad to have you with us along for the ride. Guys, everything's right with the world. Football's back. Our show's back. You guys are back. Good to have you along for the ride. Mark Skol Jr. the 5th. How you doing?
I'll tell you what, Reese, if I was doing any better,
I'm out of practice, obviously. Otherwise, I would have known.
I was waiting to see if you'd
not
ask.
to ask you the question. Got to get back in the rhythm here. J. Rob, fresh off of Switzerland. How we doing?
We're
Good
doing
to be back
great.
in the States.
It's great to be back, ready for Texas football.
Excellent. I'm sure you are. Jonathon Polasek, great to have you as always. Well, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad to be back. And Reese, how you doing?
Love that guy. It's good to be back, and let's go ahead and get into it. 4 days until Texas welcomes the number 10 at Notre Dame Fighting Irish to Austin for a rematch of last year's opener, and we sit, well, not any closer to finding out who will be the starting quarterback for the Longhorns in the spring. Charlie said he wanted to name one early in camp. Well, that turned into later in camp, and Monday he said, who knows, until we find out on Sunday. Everyone else will just have to see. It is a problem, guys. Or is it a problem, that a starter hasn't been named? And is there really any point in waiting this long at all? Or do you actually think the battle has really been this close? Or is this just some game for Charlie? Mark, we'll start with you.
As a fan and as the media, I'm sure they all want to know who's the starting quarterback. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. I mean, the guy who would have played is going to go out and play no matter if he named it Monday or Sunday. So the guy, he knows who's starting. And it's honestly, it's kind of like maybe kind of like a bond thing that he has with the football team that all the football players know, and it's kind of just like a fun little thing to do before the season. Also, I mean, you don't want to put a lot of pressure. What if it's Buechele and he's on campus for his first football season? You don't want to put more pressure in having all these students come up to him at school all the time, so it just eliminates that pressure, and it makes both quarterbacks work harder and has them on their toes, making sure everything is perfect. So I think it's the right move, honestly, even though we all want to know who it is, but I think it's the right move because it just makes them keep them on their feet, keep them ready to go, and making them work extra hard.
Yeah, but if Buechele couldn't have handled the pressure, then he probably shouldn't be starting on Sunday, in my opinion. J-Rob, always anxious to hear your thoughts on Texas football.
Okay, well, I think that it's more of an issue for the fans. The fans want to know who's starting so they can get behind someone, know that the team's supporting them, the coach is supporting them, and they can get all hyped up about it. Now, I think Texas football is doing a little element of surprise with Notre Dame. They got to keep that edge. So they don't want anything getting out, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see who he ends up picking, but I think they need to keep that edge on Notre Dame. And I think it's a good plan.
Yeah, Notre Dame shaking in their boots. Doesn't
Yeah.
want to see 18 run out there. They are fearing the Tyrone swoops, I'm sure. Jonathan, what say you?
Honestly, Reese, it's not a big deal. I mean, Charlie Strong, he knows who's going to be the starter at the end of the day. I mean, he really does. There's no doubt about it. And I mean, why give Notre Dame any more chance to prepare for Tyrone Swoops or Shane Buechele than you have to by naming a starter early? And the most important thing, Reese, is that if the game is close in the fourth quarter, it doesn't matter who starts. It matters who finishes. And who's the finisher of that game is the quarterback who's most likely going to start for the rest of the season.
It's a great point. Sold me right there. Although I disagree with all of you, I think a starting quarterback should have been named at the beginning of camp, and we could all know. Maybe that's just because I'm really curious to know. So Jonathan starts off 2016 school year with our first point, guys. Moving on, even if Charlie seems to think his whole hide-and-seek game is working, it may not even matter who the Irish has under center. On Sunday, Texas still a very young team, lots of roles to fill. So besides quarterback, what is the most significant concern for Texas heading into the 2016 campaign? Jessica.
I'm going to go with the secondary. I think in the past that they've had good talent. It's been there, but the circumstances, they haven't really risen to their full potential. And I think especially with Holton Hill and with Devontae Davis, I think this year is going to be really good for them. They did great as freshmen, but to really step out as sophomores and really continue to prove themselves, the potential's there, but I'm really nervous about the secondary. That's definitely what we need to look for.
Okay, so biggest concern, secondary. Jonathan, what do you think?
I'd have to disagree with that. I think the jump from freshman year to sophomore year is one of the biggest jumps that a football player makes. So I think the secondary is going to have a great year, and you got 2 leaders in the safety positions. For me, it's the defensive line. You have 2 established starters in the middle of the defensive line with Puna Ford and Paul Boyette. And but behind them, there's not much else. You have 5 freshmen who are all going to play at some point, but they're going to take their lumps. They're young, they're freshmen. They haven't had a whole lot of time. And then on the ends, you have Bryce Cottrell and Nashawn Hughes. Now, whether or not they can make that jump from junior to senior year, that's a story that I want to follow throughout the rest of the season, and to see if the younger players behind them can push them for playing time and even starting time. So I'm most worried about that defensive line and how they'll hold up against the run and getting to the quarterback, because last year the Longhorns, they just got gashed, even with a guy like Hassan Ridgeway. And so with him gone, how will they hold up this year?
Yeah, I think everybody's concerned with where will sacks come from. I don't think anyone knows the answer to that question yet. Maybe we'll find out. Mark, what's your biggest concern?
I don't like to toot the same horn a lot, but I think defensive line is definitely the biggest problem. And it all starts up front in football: offensive line on offense, defensive line on defense. And
especially for Texas.
Especially for Texas, considering that was the worst defense in Texas history last year. So it all starts up front, and that's where the main goal of the defense is to pressure the quarterback, and that's what they need to do. They have 6 new true freshmen who could end up seeing a lot of playing time, and Strong acts like he says that he's going to be playing a lot of these true freshmen on the defensive line. So it's a very important job. They have that up front, that defense up front. You have the leaders like Jonathan said. Puna Ford's going to be big. Nashawn Hughes should be big. Just all those guys, it's important to get up front. They have that leadership there, which will be nice for these young freshmen because they're going to be playing probably 3 to 4 years at Texas.
Yeah, I like what both you guys said. I think you look at the Super Bowl last year, Denver Broncos, all that pass rush, that defensive line was great. That's why they were great. I think Texas is really concerning right now. However, Charlie Strong, so you guys are both getting the point, excuse me. So Charlie Strong says he's feeling more confident than ever in this current team in his 3rd year. He says things are starting to come together. So far, not so much. He's 11-14 in his first 2 campaigns. So if the train doesn't roll this year, it could be so long Charlie Strong. Now, a win would do a lot to change that on Sunday. So it is prediction time. We need one for Sunday, and why not a season prediction for the Longhorns? And Jonathan, we will begin with you.
Honestly, Reese, I don't think Texas is going to win this game. I think it's going to be a close game. Texas is going to put up more than 3 points, because if they don't, ouch. You have a new offense. You're supposed to put up points in the veer and shoot offense. That's what Sterling Gilbert came into Texas for, was to put up points. And so, but I think Texas is going to lose this game. It's probably going to be somewhere around 35-28 Notre Dame. But Texas can grow from this game. They can see that they can compete with the big-time programs this year. And I think you're going to see a lot of growth from these younger players who took their lumps last year. And so what's going to happen is I think Texas is going to end up with a 7-5 record, right around there, maybe 8 wins if they get a couple of lucky breaks. But I think 7-5 is probably the final record, and I think Charlie Strong makes it to a 4th season in which they will do great things and compete for a Big 12 championship.
I like that. A lot of toss-up games, it seems like, in 2016, at least looking at it early. Mark, what do you think?
What's crazy is that this schedule, right to start off the season, is going to be ridiculous. It's a gauntlet of a schedule. You play Notre Dame week 1, and then a couple weeks later you play Oklahoma, then Oklahoma State, and Cal, not to mention.
Not a pushover. Beat them last year. Yeah.
So it's going to be a very tough start. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say 8-4. I think they have a good team. I think all around, and you see they bring in the new offense. You have a lot of new freshmen. And what's great about this team is going to be a lot of young guys making impacts right away. So I think they'll go 8-4. I think they'll lose. I think they'll lose to Notre Dame just because, I don't know, if Shane's ending up starting, it's going to be his first time under the bright lights. It's going to be tough. If Tyrone's
starting, we know how that. We've seen that story before. Under the bright lights.
I don't want to see that again.
I do think it's going to be a really close game. Yeah. I think it's going to come down to like less than 5 points, because I think that's really how close it's going to be. I think Texas has really made a good jump in recruiting, and that's why I think Strong. I think his job will be safe if he's 8-4. I think his job will be safe if he's 500, to be honest, just because he's such a great He's such a great recruiter.
Sure.
I mean, the thing that he pulled off on National Signing Day, when do you ever see something like that? And and all the players have bought into him. They love his system, his how he runs the team.
Yeah, talent's definitely there. We'll see if it comes together.
Yeah, but I think
you got him 84.
I think just because of his recruiting, I think he'll be there no matter what.
We'll see. J-Rob, these two aren't really drinking the burn orange Kool-Aid. I know you're about to take a big old gulp. So get my glass out here as well.
Texas beats Notre Dame. I'm going to go with 27-21.
Oh, I like that.
Yes. I
like that a lot.
I really do believe they have it in them. And for season, I'm going to go with 9-3.
9-3.
Wow.
And I'm going to go with losses to TCU, OU, and Tech.
Wow. Called her shot, too. TCU, OU, and Tech.
Now,
like that a lot.
Charlie Strong is on the hot seat. I feel like he always is. But he's incredible, and I'm going to back him up. He makes men out of boys, and he has instilled a sense of he's taken out the entitlement in the program, and he's really pushed people. You know what I'm saying? So I really believe that this season, it's his third year here. It's time. 9-3. They're going to beat Notre Dame.
Third time's a charm.
9-3. 9-3.
Third time's a charm.
We will see. Ready to get going. J-Rob sold me with the burn orange Kool-Aid. Gets me fired up. You need to be a speaker in there or something. So we've got 2-1-1 going to the break. Coming up, we will look around the country at the greatest college football opening weekend slate maybe ever, and another year of Romo, oh no, for the Cowboys. Coming right up. Thank you for sticking with us on Show 1, Week 1 here in the 2016 school year. Let's take a look at our scoreboard. Jonathon Polasek, the leader in the clubhouse, off to my right here. J-Rob, Mark Skol Jr., the 8th, each throwing up the Uno right
Number
there.
one.
So, guys,
Don't ask me how I'm
plenty of time to catch up. So, everyone take a deep breath real quick. In and out. You've made it through the final weekend without a full slate of football for the rest of 2016 this year. ESPN and really everybody took it to a whole new level with this weekend slate of college football action matchups like LSU, Wisconsin, Bama, USC, Florida State, Ole Miss, not to mention OU, Houston, and the Texas Aggies, UCLA Bruins. Obviously, Texas, Notre Dame in there in Austin as well. But guys, besides that, we've already talked about that one. What game are you most looking forward to, most hyped about, and why for this weekend? Mark?
For me, it's Bama USC. Just because I want to see how this Bama team fares this year. They lose a lot of talent, and a lot of talent's been transferring to other schools too. So I want to see if they're able to.
They don't have a quarterback. They're not sure who their quarterback is either.
Maybe a true freshman will be starting for them too. So I just want to see how that offense, now that defense will fare without all these guys, with all these guys transferring with a new true freshman quarterback. Can they repeat? I mean, they've been. I feel like they're in the college football playoff every single year. But is this the time that they're not? Does LSU finally come on top this year? That's the game I'm hoping. And then the Kiffin tie, too, because Kiffin used to be the coach at USC.
Yep.
Now he's at Alabama. So it's a big game for Kiffin.
Good.
So we'll see if Alabama's able to come up on top.
I'd say Bama's going to be
I'd say so,
good.
too.
Pretty darn good. J-Rob, what game are you most hyped for, besides Texas?
Besides Texas, of course. Most hyped for the OU-Houston game.
Like that.
Houston has been on the rise, especially with their bowl game win over Florida State and with their quarterback. And I think that this game, if they win, it's going to be very pivotal in deciding if they're a contender for the Big 12. I think this game is a big deal, and I think Houston's definitely a dark horse in the college football playoffs this year.
Wow.
As well. So,
Greg Ward Jr., possible a little Heisman dark horse. Tom Herman, future coach in the Big 12 somewhere maybe. We'll see. I like that a lot. Jonathan, what game?
Well, I've got a game that's going to shock college football across the nation. You're going to love this.
Like that.
Kansas, Rhode Island. No, I kid. I kid. No. Ole Miss.
Stanford, K-State. Can't wait for that one either.
No. Florida and Ole Miss. You got two top 15 teams. You want to see which team is for real. Ole Miss, they bring back Chad Kelly, and that offense is going to be dynamic. You know it. And then you have Florida State, the number 4 team in the preseason. I want to see how they fare this year. I mean, they're bringing in some new pieces. I want to see how that defense works. I want to see if that offense is going to operate to its full potential. I think that's going to be a really good high-scoring game to help determine which team is actually a contender and which team's a pretender.
Hey, Houston beat Florida State last year.
Yeah, new QB, for Florida State. Maybe the 3 best players gone from Ole Miss. LaCron Treadwell, Laramie Tunsil, and Kim Beachy. So
But you still got that. You still got a quarterback in
still
Swag
got
Kelly.
Swag Kelly. I don't know. God, this is the hardest question for me I think I've ever had to choose because they're all such great
Kansas
games.
and Rhode Island.
They're incredible.
That's the actual
The Rhode Island one probably would have won. I'm going to roll Houston OU, Baker Mayfield. Can't wait to see it. Possible future Texas opponent in Houston. Possible future Texas coach as well. And maybe we'll get to that later. So J-Rob's getting the second point here in round 2. Guys, even as another NFL season rolls around, we've got another Tony Romo injury. Boy, the Cowboys leader and signal caller didn't even wait for the regular season to get here to get hurt. This time, the last time he played a full 16 games was in 2012. And for the first time since 1969, Dallas begins the season with a rookie QB and a rookie running back. Whew. Boy, how does this affect Dallas going forward? And are we sadly seeing the end of the Romo era? J-Rob.
I honestly think it was a great move. I think that hey, I'll get to Romo in a minute. But he played a lights out preseason and he executed offensive everything. Dak Prescott. He executed the offensive everything perfectly, and I think he did great for the position that he was in. Now Romo, 36, going on his 14th season. I think he might, let's say in the end he takes the team to the Super Bowl, gets MVP, wins on top, like we've seen before. But I think Prescott's a great move, and I do believe that this could be the end for Romo.
Wow. Hurts my heart. Jonathan, what's up?
Honestly, I think that Dak Prescott, he was excellent in the preseason, but then again, he wasn't the starter most of the time. He didn't face most of the first-team defense. Preseason is not the regular season. Sure. You're going to get first-string defense 80% of the games. And so how he fares in the regular season, I think that he's going to take some lumps. I think that he's probably going to lead them. I could see 6 or 7 wins out of Dak Prescott. I mean, he looks that good. But I don't see him being able to take the Cowboys to the playoffs this year. And Romo, he's had so many back injuries. I think it's 4 different back injuries in the last 4 years. I think it's time for him to hang up the cleats and actually give himself a chance to walk when he's 50. Because at this rate, it's hard for me to watch, even as a Texans fan. I mean, just see someone get beat up that much.
Yeah, he'll be back week 5. Week 5. Mark, what say you?
All right. Well, about the whole Dak Prescott thing, I think this is the worst thing to happen for Dak Prescott, just because. This is
a guy, his 4th-round pick, who was supposed to sit and be the number 3. If Kellen Moore hadn't got hurt, Kellen Moore would be the starter.
So he's supposed to be a guy who's supposed to be learning in his first NFL season. Yes, he's had a great preseason, but like in all preseason means nothing. So right now, I think he's played well. Obviously, I mean, he's probably been the most impressive player this preseason out of anyone in the National Football League. But I think once Romo is healthy and once he's back, I think you have to put him in. 2 years ago, when the Cowboys won the NFC East, he was an offensive or NFL MVP candidate. So you have to keep him. You have to put him back in. Maybe this is his last season because he has been getting hurt a lot. But I think you have to put him back in just because we've seen how good the Cowboys are with him, and then we've seen how bad they are without him. So I think you have to keep him in. And Ezekiel Elliott also, he's been great. I mean, do you see his hit on Cam Chancellor? Oh my God, he lowered the shoulder and everything.
Yep, looks good.
But yeah, I think you got to go Romo back once he's healthy.
Yep.
I think just because he's the veteran, he knows what he's doing. The NFC East isn't the strongest division.
Yeah.
So I think you got to go Romo back.
I agree. Bias aside, Mark's getting the point. In all seriousness, Romo has carried that team on his broken, crumpled up back for years, and he'll be the starter once it comes back. So Mark's getting the point, guys. To a little bit of a more serious note from one QB to another. Colin Kaepernick sent waves throughout the country this week by refusing to stand during the national anthem of a preseason NFL game. Guys, it seems Cap has created a conversation about issues in the country, but do you agree with Cap speaking out, not necessarily what he did, but should more athletes do this, and is this a movement that he's starting? Is this a good thing? Jonathan, what do you think?
I agree 100% that this is a good thing. This is a great thing. I mean, these types of issues, they need to come out. Now, is there a time and place to do this? Yes. And did Kaepernick pick the right time? Maybe not. It could have been better because, I mean, you've seen the backlash that he's gotten for what he's done. But, I mean, I think more players should be able to speak their minds and speak of what's going on in this country. I mean, it's very hard right now for athletes or for anybody of any kind of stature to do this, let alone athletes. but you just have to pick and choose when you do it. And for Kaepernick, yes, good idea, bad timing, just bad timing.
Sure. Mark, what do you think?
I think all athletes should speak out on their opinions on these kind of things. They're being paid millions of dollars, not just to go out and play football on Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays, but to also make an impact in the community. They're not like they signed a contract, not just, oh, I'm playing football for you, but I also need to do these things, can't take these drugs, all this kind of stuff. So they're supposed to be role models. This is what athletes are supposed to do. And you look at a guy like Brandon Marshall, the wide receiver for the New York Jets. He had all these domestic violence scandals against him, and then he went out and he found out his disease. He was mental ill. He had the mental illness, and he went out. And now he's an advocate for getting people cured from mental illness. And he says football is my platform. Mental illness is my purpose. So I think if you have that platform, you have the advantage, and you can really make a difference. So I think you really have to take advantage of that platform that these players are given, not just because of the money.
Yeah, J-Rob, finish us off here.
Definitely think it's important to stand up for what you believe in. There's different avenues, venues, ways you can do that. Now, did Kaepernick do it? Well, that like we've been discussing, that he's paid to do that, and so that's his stand, that's his avenue. Now, I do believe that actions speak louder than words, and as much as you say you're going to do something and say you might stand up for something, you also need to take action in the community. And I'm not saying he hasn't been. I'm just saying it hasn't been published or publicized enough that he is. And I'm saying that you stand up for what you believe in, but take action, and I think he did the right thing.
Yeah, Jonathan, I like what you said. Maybe a time and place issue, but taking a stand and the fact that we get to have this type of conversation, try to make a change, and try to be better is what is truly great about this country that we're in. Let's light up rapid fire up next. Thanks for keeping it here. Before we light up rapid fire, let's take one final look at our scoreboard here in Show 1. 2016, we've got Mark with 2, J-Rob, another deuce, and the tray over there. Guys, let's get into it. A reminder, you guys are all veterans, but for everybody at home, points are now doubled. I'll ask a question, you guys just shout it out. Well, not shout at me, but throw it out there. Guys, Kansas this week. Of course, the lowly Kansas Jayhawks, that's for you, Zach Halsey, now removed, decided a QB competition by rock, paper, scissors this week to determine that Montel Cozart will start their home opener. Guys, what childhood game would you choose to pick a starting quarterback in a competition if you were a head coach?
I feel like you have to go chess because you have to be smart.
Chess.
It's a mind game.
Obviously a nerdy kid.
Yeah, obviously a nerdy kid. So you have to, if you want your quarterback to be, you want your quarterback to be smart, prepared, know his stuff, and if he can win in chess, he definitely knows his stuff.
Chess.
I'm going to say there's
Chess
nothing
Club
better than a good old dance-off.
Well, that's
I
true.
think they need
What
to
game
have
is that?
I played when I was,
Okay.
dance-off.
BDR.
Oh, okay.
A dance-off.
Actually
yeah.
dance it
Like
off.
a dance battle.
Okay,
I
dance
think
battle.
they should dance it out.
Okay, from chess to dance battle, Jonathan, I'm guessing you're somewhere in between.
I kind of like capture the flag, honestly, because it's an instinctual game. It's a strategy. As a quarterback, you need to be able to see everything, survey the field, and
Dancing
try
strategy.
and go take what's yours. In this case, touchdowns and wins. Now, is Kansas going to do that? Probably not, but it doesn't matter. Capture the flag.
Capture the flag, I
Those
think, is the
board
most
games.
fun of the three. I was kind of
Those board
intending.
games.
Dancing kind of gets old. Yeah, I'm going to say that capture the flag is the most fun of the three. I was hoping for, I don't know, like
Monopoly?
trouble, like aggravation, like one of those games.
I love
where
aggravation.
You click and
I
then
love
like
aggravation.
toss it around. Yeah, it's great. So we're going with capture the flag. Jonathan's got a couple point lead here into the final question. One of the best things about football is fantasy football. One of the best things about fantasy football is the team name that you inevitably give after your draft is over. So it is time this year. You can have any player on your roster, but what is the best fantasy football team name in 2016?
You're not going to like this, and I know it's going to cause me to lose, but I don't care.
Yeah, do it.
No Mo Romo.
No Mo Romo.
I know it's going to cause me to lose. I don't care. I had to say it.
No Mo Romo.
Oh man.
Didn't love it. Didn't love it. I gotta
figured.
say.
I
Yeah,
figured
that's
it
fine.
It had to come out.
Yeah, that's okay.
Jeez.
I think the Dak Knight Rises is my favorite.
I have a couple inappropriate ones, but I don't want to say those.
Hey, as long as it's FCC regulation, just throw them out there.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
Feeling some awkward uncomfortability on that side of the desk.
Peyton forever.
What?
Peyton forever.
Oh, God. I was like, watch another one of those awful Peyton on Sunday morning commercials. God.
All right, this is an old one, but it's appropriate. Book of Eli. I'll just go with that one.
Book of Eli's pretty good. I like Book of Eli. I was hoping something Gronk. For Game of Thrones fans, A Team Has No Name. That was kind of one of my favorites. Obviously, you guys don't watch the show. Am I really going to have to give Romo No Mo the win?
Don't Gronk that. Dun, dun, dun. I just made that up. It's fine.
I think you can do a lot of things with Gronk. I don't know if that's what I would have done with it, but Jonathon somehow is going to squeak out a Week 1 win by destroying my childhood hero and quarterback. So with that, no FaceTime for you. That's going to do it for show 1 of this semester. No show next week. It's the TSTV General Meeting. Check that out in Burdine if you're a student on campus. We return to you in 2 weeks for the start of the NFL season. We'll have reaction from that. College Press Box kicks off this week post Notre Dame at 9:30 on Monday. Keep up on social media. We're new at TSTV Sports. We've got it all in one, easy for you. Big thanks to everyone helping out in studio, Master Control, and a special thanks to you for spending your Wednesday night with us. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Until then, I'm Reese Miller. Good night.